All right. The topic of today is a goal-centric mindset versus a pause button mindset. And this is not going to be a presentation that's all fluffy and just kind of generally talking about mindset. We're going to have specific tactics to help you uh, move yourself from a pause button mindset to a goal-centric mindset. Okay, so the first thing we have to define when we're talking about these concepts is what is mindset? So, how I define mindset is the internal story you tell yourself when something happens in your life. I think the phrase that uh, I often use to myself is you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. So I think that is defines your mindset, how you react to things when things happen in your life, both good and bad. So mindset is not, it's often applied when negative things happens, but mindset also applies when positive things happen. So what is the pause button mindset? I We see this commonly with our clients, and it's probably the number one thing that we as coaches working with busy parents and professionals have to help our clients overcome. And so what we typically see is life gets busy, obstacles come up, the client feels overwhelmed, the client doesn't think they can keep up with all the demands in their life, and they decide to press pause in the health and fitness until I'm less busy or this obstacle passes. I'm sure there's instances in everyone's life, we've all done it, where we've pressed the pause button on our health and fitness. So what's the problem with the pause button mindset? The main problem is that your health and fitness doesn't actually have a pause button, right? Whether you're being intentional about your actions or not intentional about uh, your actions every day have an effect on your health and fitness. And one of the big things is that we're talking about in this challenge is building up your skills of acquiring new behaviors, testing out new behaviors, and seeing what fits and what doesn't. When things get difficult and you pause, you build up that skill of pausing when things get hard, right? And then that becomes normalized. And the next time something comes up, it is that much easier to pause rather than building the skill of resilience. When things get hard, I'm going to find a way to work through it, right? So one way or another, when the obstacle comes up, you're building a skill. It's kind of your choice on what skill you want to build with that. And the reality of life, and with the clients we work with, uh, we're all always going to be busy. I think if we sat here and looked back and thought, when was the last time I wasn't busy, it'd be very difficult to figure that out, right? You're always going to be busy, and there's always going to be challenges. Things are going to pop up. When you look ahead and think you're not going to be busy, if you actually wrote that down and then checked that on that date, I'm pretty sure you would find that you were busy on whatever date you thought you weren't going to be busy, because that's uh, typically how it works. So one of the things that we like to teach our clients when uh, the pause button mindset pops up is that being consistently good is much better than being occasionally perfect, right? So that consistency is key. I think we all know that, and you don't need to be perfect. You just to be making baby steps forward. All right. So what's the flip side? What is the goal-centric mindset? And the first part of a goal-centric mindset is when you set a goal, be willing to make it a priority. So a perfectly fine outcome of when you're thinking about setting goals is I'm not willing to make this a priority. Let's not make it a goal right now. This season of my life is not going to be the time for me to make this a priority. But once you do set it as a goal, having a goal-centric mindset is being willing to make that a priority. And it's important to define what a priority is, and what a priority means, that you have to be willing to say no to things that you normally say yes to, right? So there is sacrifice that's involved with setting something as a priority. And the third part that kind of defines a goal-centric mindset is uh, being inflexible with the goal, but flexible with your path to get there. All right. So how do we take this from something that's kind of fluffy and abstract to something that's practical and you can use in your everyday life. So the 4 magic words to shift your mindset is when you come across yourself, the story you're telling yourself being, I can't do this because, replace that with, how can I do blank without blank? So those are the words. How can I do blank without blank? So there's a couple pieces of that. The idea of it being a question is important because it puts you into a state of being creative and trying to figure things out versus I can't do this because this, that statement, period, end of thought. We want to open up your mind to how you can do things without XYZ. Example of this, I can't work out because I'm swamped at work. So how you would shift that is how can I maintain a workout routine without negatively affecting my output at work? There's a lot of options there. We're not going to go into the options and actually try to answer this question right now, but at least when you state things like that, opens your minds to the creativity that it takes to figure something out. I can't work out because I sprained my wrist. Shifting that, how can I work out without hurting my wrist? Right? I have 3 other limbs and a healthy torso. How can I work out using those things? When my kids come home from college, I can't work out because I want to spend time with them. When my kids come home for college, how can I work out without sacrificing my time with my kids? How can I work out with them? Right? Figuring out ways to achieve, overcome the obstacle while still making progress towards the goal. And what role does a coach play in this process? So the first part of this process is you got to do the work yourself, right? You start with your how can I statement, right? And you come up with some options. And what a coach can do, and I'm your coach in this process, which you can reach out to me for, is, hey, I thought of this, this, and this options. What other options have you seen that have worked with your clients for this obstacle, right? They can add on to your list. And then after that, your coach can help you filter through which options are best for your goals. So your finalists for whatever obstacle you're coming at, the finalists to get around it are 1, 2, and 3. Okay, me as your coach, in my experience, I think this number 2 thing is the most important for you. Let's go with that one. Let's see how that goes for a couple weeks, right? So that's where your coach is, can be your guide in this process. And when you're busy, a lot of times when people are busy, we see this a lot with our clients. The first thing that goes is their coach, right? I don't have time for coaching. I don't have time to make this call. I'm busy, whatever is causing that. But when you're busy is when you need your coach the most because the ROI on your time is the most valuable, right? Because your coach can help, number one, help you filter through that process, make that process, decision-making process quicker. And out of all the infinite number of actions that you can take to solve that problem, your coach can help you pick the one that's going to be most effective for you and help you get your result in the least amount of time, right? So by taking that 10, 15-minute call with your coach, sending that text to your coach, you're going to get a much better ROI on your time.